Welcome to the Captain Bagrat podcast, where we're on a mission to fight boring news about Asia and Australia. You know, it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it with a finger on the Asian-ish pulse. As always, we're recording from Downtown Chinatown with yours truly, the mythical Madam Chan and friends. Sabanu, Upper Adam.
Oh, man. Are you expecting me to guess that one?
Yeah, that's a hard one, I know. And I'm probably butchering the pronunciation.
Can I hear it one more time?
All right, I'm going to butcher it. I'm so sorry for everyone from this country. Sabanu. I could be saying it completely wrong.
It sounds something like Southeast Asian. Like it's almost like...
It's a country squash between China and Russia.
Okay, so it's not what I was thinking.
No, it's Northeast Asia.
It's not like... Yeah, because it almost sounds like Indonesian a little bit, or a softness of the Philippines, but no. So
Mongolian.
Between China and Russia is going to be
Mongolia. Yeah. It's so beautiful, isn't it? Sabanu. Yeah.
Sabanu.
I could be saying it wrong, but anyway.
You might be saying it completely wrong. Don't worry, it's lost on me.
I know, and I thought of it because the Who band, you know that episode we did about the Mongolian heavy metal band? The throat throttling.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they are on tour. They've been to Austria, Switzerland, France, and now they're heading over to the US of A.
Now?
During COVID, yeah.
Yeah, wow. That's hardcore.
I know.
I suppose if they did get any sort of like throat infection or cough or anything, it would only just add to the performance, right?
In fact, it might be better for them. Maybe this is how they're defeating COVID, because of throat throttling.
Nothing can settle on any of you if you're making those sort of noises.
Exactly. The reverberations would knock off all the spirits and all the viruses.
Yeah, get rid of all that negativity.
Yeah. And we also are doing some web series planning. So it hasn't been on social media quite a bit, but we have been planning our first episode, our pilot, as well as a series of them with some pretty cool people.
Busy times here at Bagrat.
That's right, busy times with some really awesome Asian Australians and an executive producer who's very well known in the industry.
Oh, that sounds like an announcement to come.
Yeah, it's to come. So watch the space, everyone.
Awesome.
So in Unexpected Asia highlights for tonight, now we're into a show.
Yes.
Now we're turning into a show, that's right. We've got foreigners taking over Japan's all-time tradition, sumo wrestling. And for all you crazy cat fans out there, that's you, Adam.
Yep, that's me.
That's you.
Yep.
You've got cat ear noodles.
I do. So
but more of that later, hey?
Yeah, I'll cover that in a minute.
Yep.
But just to cover that cat reference.
Yes.
I bought a kitten a couple of weeks ago.
Yes.
So that's where that's come from, just behind the, yeah.
What's happening in Ponder Ponders this week?
Ponder Ponders, we're talking about cases of mistaken identity. I don't know if that's happened to you, but it happens to me all the time.
It happens to me all the time. Oh, my God. And we're sort of addressing racism, but we're also addressing genuine mistaken identity as well.
Yeah, it could work both ways, right?
Yeah, exactly. So we'll explain ourselves later. And then to end, we got Secret Asians, Asian-ish. I've got somebody you've all heard of. I hope everyone's heard of. And she's sort of been known as the first Asian lead female in a TV series.
Okay.
Yeah, so now you know it's a female.
It's a she.
It's a she. And she's making waves. So if you haven't heard of her, seriously, where have you been? Seriously, under a rock? I don't know.
All right, I hope I get this one right. There's a bit of pressure here.
Massive pressure. So more of that later. First up on Unexpected Asia.
Yes, let's hear it.
Excellent. So back to Mongolia. So I was doing some research on sumo wrestling, and the information that came up was that apparently the traditional sport that's really well known in Japan. I don't know if you've watched Austin Powers. You know, with Fat Bastard, where he goes into sumo wrestling.
Yep.
Apparently, the majority of the sport is dominated by Mongolians.
Really?
And Hawaiians. So not a lot of
Who would have thought the Japanese would have let that happen?
Exactly. Foreigners literally taking over the sumo wrestling ring.
I can see the diet. Like, obviously there's a lot of Japanese Hawaiians, and the diet's a bit more anglicized and Americanized. That maybe I could see that working, but I'm not sure about... Yeah, it's random.
It's really random. So what they've done is apparently because as 70s and 80s Japanese economy improved and people were, moving on to middle class income and earning a lot more, so a lot less people eating more, and a lot less people are taking less of an interest in going down that pathway because it's a very disciplined sport apparently.
Yeah,
it's very harsh as well. And so a lot of the Mongolians have come over instead because they come from a country of herding horses and wrestling. They have their own wrestling.
Yeah,
and this is a amazing what I found out about them. Apparently, with Mongolian kids, when they're at the age of 2, that's when they start riding horses bareback.
Really?
Yes.
All this valuable juice coming out of Mongolia. Like, how is it not a better known country?
I know. I mean, Genghis Khan, okay, he did conquer the world for a while, a little bit of the world.
Yeah, that's
just
right.
A little bit. Yeah. And then by the age of 5, they are known to be recruited into wrestling. So these kids have to just start wrestling at the age of 5.
Wow, it's good.
I know,
we kind of did.
practice.
My brothers and I did that, but it probably doesn't qualify as the same sort of thing.
Same level.
We're pulling our undies up our bum at the time.
Oh, that's close enough. It's a good start. Yeah, but and so it's just a natural progression to go over to Japan to wrestle because apparently sumo wrestlers have 20% fat. So the rest is actually muscle and bone.
Yeah. So you'd have to be a big build anyway. I'm not fat. I'm just big boned.
Big boned. They're not fat. It looks like it's fat, but they're actually really strong and muscular.
Yeah, 20% body fat is pretty low.
I know. I probably have more than that. I'm probably on like 30-something%.
I'm definitely more than that.
I know. It's quite unusual because you always portray Japanese people as very petite, especially the women.
Yeah.
And a lot of the men, the J-pop and J-dramas, they're all quite petite. So
yeah, I think of like the traditional like Japanese salaryman, like in his skinny jeans and or skinny suit
and trendy hair.
Yeah, trendy hair. Yeah,
I know. And so the first wave of foreigners who came over to take part in sumo was back in the 80s, the Hawaiian Americans.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, they've just been entering a lot of internationals onto the scene.
I wonder if it's an international sport. Do you think they have competitions outside of Japan?
Oh, yeah, they do. I think there's ones from Bulgaria, and there are wrestlers from all over Europe. Wow. There's probably one from Australia that we haven't heard of yet.
Yeah, it's quite steeped in tradition, like all of the bowing and the ceremony and stuff that happens before and the purification before the actual bout.
Yeah, they throw salt to purify. And look, I was a little disappointed when I read this. They said the reason why women are not allowed in wrestling is because they're not pure, because they bleed due to menstrual cycle.
Oh, man.
That is harsh.
That's killer.
Anyway, I'll move on from that.
Okay. So I've got some news, some food news about a pasta craze that's taking over China at the moment.
Meow, meow.
Yeah, I'm not going to say this properly. It's Mao Udu. Mao Udu.
Mao Erdo.
I just can't get
Literally
the
cat
accent.
ear.
I listened to the video like 3 times and I just can't get that accent. But yeah, basically translates to cat ear.
Yes.
And it's these little cat ear noodles, and they kind of look like Italian gnocchi, like they're kind of that pudgy, sort of similar, soft, doughy type of texture.
But not made from potatoes as well, right?
Not made from potatoes, though, but they come from the Shaanxi province, which is just outside of Beijing. And they were first mentioned, they tracked it back to around the 18th century, and they were discovered by the Qianlong Emperor during the Qing dynasty. And it's been this comfort food ever since, but they're really making a comeback at the moment throughout China. And basically they're served, so you cook the dumplings in this kind of brothy, soupy sort of thing, which is made from bone, and it sort of looks like a
marrow, is it?
Marrowy sort of thing. And then you serve it with toppings like cabbage and potatoes or seaweed or quail eggs or whatever you happen to have in your kitchen that you think
cats like to eat quail.
Cats like to eat a lot of things. I taught my kitten how to eat yogurt the other day, and he really likes yogurt. I don't know why. Like I had the empty
like milk, I guess.
Yeah, well kittens don't have milk, I don't think. You're not supposed to feed
pasteurized milk.
Yeah. But I had this little bit of yogurt left in the container, and I put it down next to his thing, and he went hell for leather. He had it all over his ears and everything.
Cute.
Loved it.
Oh, photos. We need photos.
Yeah.
You have to bring him in.
Oh, I will bring him in. As soon as the vet gives him the all clear, he's going to his first vet appointment tomorrow.
Oh, I hope he gets all clear.
Microchipped and vaccinated and just all the kitten check stuff. No, the
snip.
Snipping? They don't do the snip until they're 6 months old.
Okay.
Because they're still developing, they've got hormones and stuff that are going on, so they want him to grow up a little bit more before we give him the snip.
Stunt him. Quite literally.
Make it like a pygmy kitten. I wonder if that would happen, like if you got a male kitten desexed like early, whether it like stunts its growth.
That's cruel. That's
turns
really
him
cruel.
into like a well, he's not quite a eunuch, but like
could be eunuch.
Could be a eunuch.
Adam, don't do it to your cat. Okay. All right, I got a short one.
That'd be a funny experiment.
All right, I got a short one to end off for Unexpected Asia.
Yep.
American tourist was arrested, hear this, in Cambodia for leaving a banknote, a $10 US banknote, after he had sort of spat on it. So he licked his finger deliberately, touched the note, like, quite quite deliberately as well, and just left it there for somebody else to take. And so this is during a time where, US is in the middle of the worst coronavirus. What? Yeah, I know. And this guy, so he got caught on camera. The bank has security cameras, obviously, and then they reported to the police. So he was arrested.
I wonder if he was doing it for like a funniest home videos thing or something, like just to see what people's reaction would be.
Maybe he was, because...
Or Truth or Dare or something like that. Sometimes something a school kid would do.
No, I think he was trying to pass on a message, because like he defaced the $10 note with George Washington on it and wrote, "I am alive via Jesus Christ."
Ooh.
I think he's trying to send a religious...
message sounds like a little bit of dementia or something not quite right
Something not right. Anyway, he's 64 years old. He was arrested, but luckily he was tested negative. But still, what the fuck?
He was American, but he was in Cambodia.
Yes.
Weird.
I know. Oh well.
Where do you find these stories?
I really don't know. Sometimes I just find the weirdest stuff on the internet. I blame the internet for having these weird things.
You must get served some pretty weird ads. Like, given that your web searches include like
Asia,
old
Cambodia,
old American man spitting on banknote in Cambodia,
and coronavirus.
Yeah, coronavirus. Wow.
Yeah. So talking about being, spat at. Actually, no, it's not really being spat at. Just being in different countries sometimes. Do you get mistaken?
Have been.
Yeah.
Occasionally. It was funny, like, I remember meeting a group of friends in Korea who were sort of friends of a friend.
Yeah.
And we had it was an engagement party. And we had this karaoke thing afterwards, and I got up and I sang Gangnam Style and did all the movements and everything. And then from then on, like, I was known as Robert Telly, because apparently there's like some famous foreigner in Korea called Robert Telly who was like, I think he was a coach.
Okay.
I think he was actually German, but he spoke Korean.
Okay.
And he looked a little bit like me, and then apparently that just became my assumed identity for the rest of the evening.
I mean, you just look like any other white guy, right?
Yeah, but
in Korea,
you know how there's that stereotype, like, oh, all you Asians look the same. Yeah. So like, all you white guys look the same. And you can speak a little bit of Korean. You must be that football coach.
You look similar enough.
Yeah, exactly.
So in mistaken identity, I don't know. I've been mistaken a few times as other people. So I'm just like, okay, maybe it's genuine. But there's been a few times where I've actually mistaken others, and I felt really, really bad.
Oh.
Yeah, and I think I may have ruined someone's dinner, because I used to have this boss, okay, and look, there's 7.2 billion people in the world, right? So from afar, I thought it was him. So I was really excited because I hadn't seen him for ages.
Oh,
I know.
So awkward.
So really awkward. So I went up to the table and I was like, hey, I was about to say his name, and then I realized, it's actually not him when I got closer.
I've done that.
Yeah.
Actually, I've done that as well. I was in Singapore in Chinatown, and I saw this guy. Obviously, there's not many foreign people in Chinatown. And I saw this guy and I was like, oh, it looks like my ex's brother. And like, I lived with him for 3 years, so I knew what he looked like. And he was dressed the same. He had a suit on. He had the same glasses, same hairdo. And I was like, it's him.
Must be him.
And then same thing. I went over, g'day, Ian. How you going? And then I was like, oh no, it's not Ian. And then he knew it as well, but he played along with it. That's what made it even worse. It was so awkward.
And so he just went, hey, yeah, I haven't seen you in ages. What's going on?
Yeah. And
that's hilarious.
It was we just had this like awkward small talk, and I was a little bit drunk as well. We've been drinking those like big long neck tiger beer things.
Oh, they're huge, those long necks. Yeah.
And anyway, it wasn't him. Embarrassing.
That is really embarrassing. Like, I've done it so many times, like, especially from behind, because I think, I usually know my friends pretty well from behind, their haircut, the way they walk, and I'm pretty confident, like, at this time we're going to meet here. So I would walk up to them and, I don't hug them or anything, but I would go, hey!
Smack them on the back.
Yeah, exactly. And then I realized, oh, crap, it's somebody else.
Oh, no, pull back.
I know. And this is how I think I may have accidentally picked up a guy on the way walking to work.
Oh, yeah?
The other week. So I think I was just like, looking at some of these guys, oh yeah, that looks like, what's his face? And so I smiled at him, and then I realized, oh, wait a second, that's not him. So this guy came over to me.
Oh, wow.
Stopped me. I know, he's so brave. He stopped me, and he goes, hi, you were just smiling at me. And I was just wondering, is there something wrong with you, or do you actually...
Just checking if you've got some sort of, like, disability.
Yeah, because he's like, well, you're not, like, listening to your... you don't have your earphones on.
So there's no external stimulus. It's pure just creepy, stalking, awkward smile from across the street.
But I thought he was my friend. And then I realized it wasn't. And then so we had this awkward conversation. And then I was like,
How do you finish a conversation like that?
Well, he got too close to me. So I said, 1.5 meters, 1.5 meters.
Oh, no. He probably thought you were a bit special.
I think he probably did after that, especially if I was repeating 1.5 meters several times.
But there is a good, valuable lesson that comes out of that.
Yeah.
If you have a good expression on your face and you're happy, people will come up and talk to you,
Exactly. And call you a little bit crazy as well.
Yeah, exactly.
By accident. Have you had any other incidents?
Occasionally I get mistaken for Fat Chandler.
Are you kidding me?
You like that one, do you?
You do look a bit like Chandler.
I used to work for an advertising agency. And yeah, I don't know. A few people have said that, but it's just this thing I just can't shake.
I when I was younger, in my teens, 20s, I got called Gong Li, the Chinese actress.
Yeah, okay, I can see that.
There's a little bit of resemblance, but not a lot anymore. Yeah. I'm probably Fat Gong Li now.
Everybody goes through stages.
I know. And I'll tell you another funny reason. I was exiting out of a country with my passport. And do you know what happened at the immigration exit?
Well, they thought you had a fake passport.
I think they probably did because they looked at me and go, is this the real Madam Chen?
Really?
They actually asked that question. And I'm like, yeah, it's me. That's me. That's my passport. That's my...
You might have heard me from such podcasts as
Captain Bagrat. I thought that was pretty funny.
Wow, that's cool.
I know. So talking about mistaken identity and now moving on to, secret Asians, Asian-ish.
What's the password? Captain Bagrat. Come in.
Yeah.
I thought I'd quiz you on this lovely lady.
Oh, I feel so much pressure.
I know. I hope you get her. Otherwise, I don't know what to do with you.
Okay.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I was born in Hawaii in 1979 with the surname Quigley. I am also part Polish, Irish, and Vietnamese.
Wow, that's an interesting mix.
Yeah.
Born in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Part Polish, Irish, and Vietnamese. Okay, yeah.
And I'm not a sumo wrestler.
No, because I was just thinking maybe there's a transition here between one of the earlier stories and Okay.
All right, next one. Okay. She's definitely not a sumo wrestler with this one. Okay.
Okay.
I won the title Best Body senior year and won an athletics scholarship with the intention to study veterinary science.
Wow, smart and looks.
And a body, yeah.
So it's not it's not Elle Macpherson. It's not the body. Because she wasn't born in Hawaii.
Well, she could be.
She could have been.
No, it's not Elle Macpherson.
It's not Elle Macpherson. Okay.
All right, another one.
Yeah.
Okay. Instead, I began to model in Tokyo at the age of 17, and then I went to Taiwan and finally landed in Hong Kong where I had my break. Jackie Chan saw me as a potential action star and took me under his wing for intensive martial arts training.
Right.
Who could it be?
So she was born in Hawaii, but she must have lived in Japan then?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
But then
Right.
she settled in Hong Kong and hung on with Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan.
Jackie Chan!
Okay. All right, you're not making this very easy.
Okay. Now, back to my old roots, intention to study vet science. At one point, I had 8 rescue dogs living in my LA, I call it Lonely Angeles home. And I am an outspoken animal rights activist.
Okay.
And vegan.
Yeah, in the US, don't you get some sort of special pension thing if you have an animal? Like say you're homeless and you're begging on the street. I think they get an allowance. Like if they have a dog or a cat or something like that, they get an extra.
She's definitely not begging in the street. She's very well known.
Right, but she had 8 rescue dogs.
Because she just loves animals.
Okay, fair enough.
Still nothing?
This animal...
Animal lover?
Yeah. Okay.
You're baffled. Okay. Last one. Come on, you should be able to get this.
Yep.
Okay, so Mission Impossible 3 gave me my Hollywood break back in the US in 2006. So now she's gone back to US.
Yeah.
Okay, then in 2010, I was described as the first Asian American series lead in an American TV series since 1951. The TV series was called Nikita, based off the French film of the same name, Nikita.
Was this lady, was she in... She was in I've got the name. I've got her face.
Okay,
she was in Mission Impossible
3. Yes.
3.
She's been in a few others as well.
Oh man. Was Was she in, oh God.
Her surname is Quigley. So it's something...
Something Q, right?
Yes!
Yeah, is it Maggie Q?
Yes, it is Maggie Q!
I knew it!
Yeah, she's so beautiful. And talented, obviously.
Wasn't she in that thing with Bruce Willis?
Die Hard.
Yes.
Die Hard.
Yes.
Die Hard 3. Die Harder.
Yes.
Die even harder.
Die even harder. Times 3.
Times
Dead.
10,000.
So we've got a real deep planning session thing tonight, right?
That's right.
So we can take this from being like an audio sensory experience to an audio visual experience.
Absolutely, and hopefully everyone's going to be watching it because it'll be just so hilarious as well and educational.
Yeah, but the best thing is going to have to unveil your true identity, Madam Chan.
Oh, and you too, Oppa Adam, and Liam Frapp Daddy, and we've got two other new co-hosts. Yes, yeah. Mayu Moon, and one to be confirmed.
Yes, I like it. Cool.
Excellent.
This is going to be fun.
I know. Well, let's go and get the team going.
All right.
Bagrat out. Hey, thanks for listening to this week's podcast. For the latest updates and kooky posts, follow us at Captain Bagrat on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you love it as much as Captain Bagrat and we do, please support us with likes and shares. If you're really digging Captain Bagrat, it does cost us a bit to produce, and we really appreciate donations and in-kind contributions via Patreon or however you like. I mean, we will never say no to be a sponsorship. Your support will bring us one step closer to having our own TV show one day and to live broadcast it from the heart of downtown Chinatown. Solid.